Welcome to the Stronger Marriage Podcast with Trey and Lee.
Hey, we're glad you're here. Thanks for joining us today. We always appreciate you listening to our podcast as we throw out some little short sessions on things you can do to be a better spouse or have a better marriage. And thank you for joining us today.
Yeah, glad you're with us. We're looking forward to some cooler temps this fall.
Oh my goodness,
still
August.
Been pretty hot in Texas, so
August lasted like 90 days.
Right, forever.
Yeah.
We're finally into the burr months, as everybody's calling it. So
I'm so glad.
Looking forward to some cooler temps.
Hopefully it's cooler where you are. It's 96 right now where we are, but tomorrow's supposed to be 80, and that makes us happy.
Yes.
So we're going to talk a little bit about some characteristics of what a good spouse looks like. What makes me a good spouse? And we're going to talk some of that. When you're looking at your body and if you're a healthy person or not, you look at your characteristics. What does my blood pressure look like? Am I 120 over 80? Is my blood sugar at a good level? Is my cholesterol good? You take all these characteristics and you go, I'm in pretty good shape. I'm in pretty good health. We can do that with a lot of things as well when it comes to, am I a pretty good spouse? And look at some characteristics to go, all right, how do I measure up here? And we're going to do that today with kind of 7 characteristics of what makes a great spouse. And as you were talking earlier, this is really what we want you to apply to yourself and not towards your spouse.
Yeah, because it's easy, to look at this list and the first thing you think is, well, my spouse doesn't do a very good job with that. I wish they would do better with this. That's not really what we want you to gauge here. We want you to look at this list and say, what can I do? What can I do to improve? Where can I step up in these areas? Because when you go, like Trey said, when you go to the doctor and you get some blood work done or whatever to find out how you're doing to gauge your health, you're gauging your health. You're not getting blood work done to gauge, how your spouse is. So take a look at yourself. And see where you can make some improvements.
And if you're listening to this with your spouse, this would make a great list to go through and go, how am I doing on this?
Yeah.
And your spouse can go, how am I doing on this? And then you can say, I'd appreciate it if you would do this a little bit more. And so this might be a good opportunity to share some things with your spouse. Let's talk about some things on this list of some characteristics that make a good spouse. I want to be a good spouse. So a good spouse gives far more appreciation than criticism.
Yeah.
That's the first characteristic. You give far more appreciation than criticism.
So the first thing you could do when you're looking at this list is to tell your spouse, you do a fantastic job in these areas.
Yeah, find something to
Yeah.
give them praise for.
Yeah.
And you notice we said you give far more. We didn't say you just give more. Far more. Statistically, we've seen statistics that say that the divorce rate drops to 12% or less for couples who praise 5 times more than they criticize. So obviously, it is important that you become a person who shows and gives appreciation more than you do criticism.
Yeah. And this is something that I need to keep in the forefront of my mind, something I always have to work on, that I struggle with. Because, I've shared before, we're opposites. You're the glass half full, I'm the glass half empty. So it's just sort of, comes real easy for me to be a critic sometimes. So I have to really think about, do I really need to say that, or can I just keep that to myself?
Yeah. And what's really good to think about for a second is you could say give more appreciation than you do feedback, because sometimes you may see your feedback as, hey, I'm just trying to help my spouse here, and they may see that as criticism. So what you consider to be feedback of, hey, they're going to appreciate me telling them this, they may be going, why are you being critical? We've said this before. There is times to be critical. There is times to speak up. There are times to go, hey, this isn't working right here and we got to fix this. But you should be giving far more appreciation than you are giving criticism to your spouse. Be your spouse's biggest fan. You should not be their biggest critic.
Yeah. The last thing you want is for them to dread coming home because they're, thinking, man, I'm just going to get beat down when I come home and hear all the things that I'm doing wrong or whatever. So they get plenty of that, in the workplace or out in the world, whatever. So be the filling station. That's what the home should be, is a filling station.
I like that. Second thing on our list, are you okay moving on?
Yeah.
Okay, second thing on our list that makes a great spouse that I want to do and you want to do and we all need to do is show an interest in things that matter to your spouse. So if it's something important to your spouse, it should also be important to you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Try some new things. If you think, that's really not interesting to me, have you ever tried it?
Yeah.
Because maybe you really just haven't. Maybe you just think, I'm not interested in that, and you've never given it a try. So you might need to, whatever it is that they're really into right now, give it a try.
Sit down and watch your spouse's favorite show with them. Mm-hmm. Try their favorite hobby. But this even goes further. Let's talk about the workplace. What does your spouse do at work? And are you asking them, what do you got going on at work? Mm-hmm. Are you taking it? Because their work's going to be very interesting to them. And so when you can ask them, how's work going? What's that project that you're working on? How's that sale coming that you're trying to make? When you show an interest in things that are interesting to them, that just makes you feel very loved. My spouse is actually interested in things that I am interested in. Mm-hmm. Doesn't mean you have to do everything together, but you should be able to at least understand, if this is something important to my spouse, this obviously needs to be important to me.
Right. And remember, if your spouse is asking you a lot of questions, trying to take an interest, remember that they're not interrogating you. They're not grilling you. They're trying to connect with you. Okay. So, because a lot of times people are like, why do you want to know all that? Why are you getting all up in my business? Yeah. They're trying to take an interest. They're trying to connect. So keep that in mind if your spouse is really trying to make an effort in this area.
Yeah, that's a good point. Tell us what the third characteristic of a great spouse is.
So you recognize when your spouse is struggling and you offer support. If you can kind of tell if your spouse is having a bad day. Maybe even they come home grouchy and maybe they're taking it out on you, and you need to say, hey, is there something I can do to make your world a little bit better right now? Just offer that support. It's pretty easy to see the signs if there's something going on if you look for them. Yeah.
I think this comes with some sympathy and just being able to go, you okay? Anything I can do to help you? Or, for me, when I've had a bad day, it's amazing how much a hug. So when you had a bad day, just a hug. Can I give you a hug? Can I sit with you on the couch? Is there just something I can do? Sometimes it's just I am so sorry you've had a bad day. Just to have your spouse be a little sympathetic goes a long way. So if you see your spouse struggling a little bit, offer just a supportive response of just being able to say, I am sorry it has been a day. Mm-hmm. It doesn't always have to include how can I help you? Maybe it's just, I'm sorry you've had a hard day. Come over here and I'll give you a hug. Me being a touch person, that fits me real well. You may be saying, I've had a hard day. Come over here and you take over doing supper.
Let me go sit down and
you acts of service. And so know your spouse, but definitely recognize when they're having a hard day or a hard time. Maybe they've had a hard week. Right. And just, a pat on the back going, I am so sorry that this has been a tough week for you.
Yeah. And sometimes just, having some regular check-ins, just asking your spouse, hey, how are you doing? Is there anything stressing you at work right now, or with the kids? Just check in with them. Maybe they're not even, exhibiting any signs that they're struggling with anything, but I think it's good, because sometimes we're good at hiding that kind of stuff, and we don't want to burden our spouse. We think, I don't want to just add to their stress or whatever. So
you just summed up men to a T.
Right?
Because there are times when I know that men come home and I come home and it's like, I am having a hard day, and I'll put on a front because it's like, I do not want to unload on her, but it just one of those things where sometimes it would be really nice to just shoot straight and be a little vulnerable at times to tell your spouse.
So maybe don't wait for them to, to show signs that they're struggling or to tell you that they're struggling, just ask, is everything okay? Are you good? Is there anything I can do to ease some of your stress?
Yeah, that is exactly right. So fourth thing on our list of 7 that makes you a great spouse is you follow through on what you say, big or small. And this can deal with anything from I've promised you on my day off we'd go on a date, or
fix the kitchen sink.
Exactly. or call somebody to fix the kitchen sink. But when you've promised to do something, don't be the person that says, hey, I've told you I'll get to it sometime in the next 6 months. If you're going to go through it, maybe it's taking some vacation time, maybe it's just spending some time together, maybe it's doing something with the kids. But if you have promised something, no matter how big or small, follow through with what you say. Meaning, be a person of integrity. Don't just say, oh, I'll do it, or I'll be there, and be the person who's not going to follow through with what they say. Be that person that follows through with what they say.
Yeah. Keep your word. That's
Keep
important.
your word. I kind of did all that one.
Yeah, that's all right.
Are you sure?
That's all right.
Okay, well, I'll let you just do all the other ones.
So the next one is that you show love to your spouse in ways that they like. Now, our natural response to, or our natural way of showing love is usually the way we want to be loved. I'm an acts of service person. I love it when Trey does stuff for me. And so my natural thing is to do stuff for him. But that's really not always what he wants from me. Maybe he wants a hug at when he walks in the door or whatever. So, if you know what it is that they like, try to speak their love language, so to speak.
Yeah. Or their romance language. Show love the way they like to be loved. If your wife feels very loved when you send flowers to work, do that more often. If your husband appreciates when you show up at his workplace with his favorite coffee from whatever coffee shop he likes, do that more often. But when you can show love to them the way that they like, that is just a huge bonus for making them feel very loved. Because I can definitely show you love the way that I like, but that always doesn't
Which is still
say love
nice.
to you.
It does. It still shows me love.
Right.
But when you do, those things that really, make those deposits, it's like, hey, they're listening. They know. They care. So, it's just kind of like going the extra mile.
This would probably be a good time to say this. You don't always have to understand why your spouse needs to feel loved that way in order for you to be willing to do that. It goes back to point number 1. If it's important to your spouse, actually that was point number 2. If it's important to your spouse, it should be important to you. And so if my wife feels loved by me making the bed, if she feels appreciated by me filling her car up with gas, while that makes not a lot of sense to me, if that's important to her, then it should be important to me as well.
Yeah. Okay. Number 6.
Number 6, you apologize and own it when you mess up.
This is hard. Sometimes we want to.
I don't like to say I was wrong.
Sometimes we want to make an excuse. It's like, I did that because this, and this.
I'm sorry, but.
Yes. Don't say. Yeah, no ifs, ands, or buts, right? When you're apologizing,
hard.
Just
I
say.
don't care how many years you've been married. That's kind of tough.
It is.
It is, and it's ridiculous because you're on the same team.
Yeah.
But there are times when you're going to be wrong. There are going to take times you mess up. The best thing you do, I am really sorry. Own it and apologize. And it is really important that you become a person who simply just becomes. You let your pride go. Your relationship is more valuable than your pride.
Yeah.
So be able to apologize and own it when you mess up.
And you may not even think that you messed up, really, but if they're hurt for whatever reason, just say, I am so sorry that I hurt you. The end, Yeah. Don't say, I am so sorry if I hurt you. Clearly you did. So just say, I am so sorry that I did that.
Yeah. There have been times where I think I have mentioned to you that came across as a little critical when you didn't even realize you were being critical, or maybe you didn't think you were being critical, and you apologize instead of saying, well, I'm really sorry you're sensitive, or I'm really sorry your feelings got hurt.
I'm sorry you feel that way.
Yeah.
Don't say that. That's not owning. That's putting the blame back on your spouse. I am sorry that you feel that way. You're the one that's supposed to take the blame. So I am sorry that I made you feel that way.
If you could take this point and really get good at it, you probably could improve your marriage in leaps and bounds. Learn to be a good, what's that called? Apologizer? Be a good apologist? I don't know. Did we just make up some new words?
Maybe. Be apologizer. I think that's probably it.
Be the person who is good at apologizing when they make a mistake. Or there are times where you say, I'm just really, really sorry. Whatever that is. And so, there are people that even, I don't like it, you don't like it, but there are people that it's like they so dislike saying they were wrong. And it just crushes them to say that.
Makes me think of the Fawns.
I was going to say that, but it was going to date us.
Did anybody else think of that? If
you just dated yourself.
If you were.
So I don't know I don't know who the Fawns is. Why don't you tell me? That was before my time.
Right.
I'm just kidding.
He couldn't say
Happy days, folks. Happy days.
Yeah, happy days. He couldn't say the word wrong. I'm wrong.
Yeah, he couldn't apologize. Yeah. Wow, did we we were very small children when that was popular. Very small. So we're not that old.
If you don't know Happy Days, you missed out. You can binge watch it now somewhere. And
that's it. Yeah. And it's probably really lame.
It'd be pretty cheesy.
And it was so cool back in the days when we were a kid. That was the coolest show ever.
Couldn't wait to watch it.
Tuesday night at 7 is like, man, get in front of that TV. I refuse to miss Happy Days. Yeah. You couldn't record it. It didn't come back on if you missed it. It was just gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, those were hard days.
Yeah,
hard days. Yeah. Finally, number 7 on our list: put as much effort into connecting with your spouse as you do your to-do list. Meaning, as much effort. We all want to excel at work. We all have to work. We all have to, have things on our list. I got to get this done. I got to do this. But work is hard to connect with your spouse, to pursue your spouse, and this is the connecting is. How do they feel connected? Is it from spending time with you alone? Maybe it's going on a date, going on a walk, sitting on the back porch. What is it in there that you can do to connect with them? Your week shouldn't start off where here are the 10 things I need to get done this week. It should include in there, what are some things I can do with my spouse this week as well? Yeah. Work is hard to connect with your spouse as you do to accomplish your to-do list. And that's tough for me because I'm a to-do list guy.
Well, and a lot of people are. And if you are just a list person, then maybe you just need to put your spouse on the list. Just do it. Just put it in there. Number 3, date night, whatever it is.
That sounds a little spicy. I'm putting you on my to-do list.
Putting you on my to-do list. And it should be number 1, right? It should be number 1 at the top of the list.
That's exactly right.
Just making the list would make a lot of people happy. So,
It would. So those are 7 characteristics of a great spouse. This is what we want to be. It's easy for us to talk about these things. It's easy for you to listen to those things. But it's not going to do much good if we don't actually put out an effort to go, okay, how can I be better? Or what can I do to be better at these? Maybe to ask your spouse. And so work hard to be a great spouse. I think that will bless your marriage. It will bless your relationships because we all want to be a great spouse. We want to be a great parent. We want to be a great employee. But spouse ought to be up there at the top of the list.
Yes. So
we have... Can I throw out here real quick? We've got Kentucky coming up. We're headed to Lexington, Kentucky next week. Hopefully you've registered if you're in the Kentucky area. Wichita Falls, Texas in October. Come join us in Wichita Falls. That'll be on the 4th of October. In November, we're going to be up by the Tulsa, Oklahoma area. Is it Broken Bow or is it...
No, Broken Arrow.
Broken Arrow. I know it was something was
Yeah,
broken
something
up
was
there.
broken in Oklahoma.
And so we're going to be up in the Tulsa area, and then December we'll be in Odessa, Texas. So those are going to close out our year on workshops. Come see us. If you're wondering about workshops, they are free. We always encourage the host church to pay for or cover the expenses, and they do, which is awesome. And so you just have to have the expense of getting there. So come see us, and I promise we'll bless your marriage.
Yeah. All right.
Thanks for listening. Y'all have a great weekend.
Bye.